Good morning, students. In the first chapter of biology, life processes, we took a look at different life processes which help in maintaining life, such as nutrition, respiration, circulation of materials, and excretion. Today we start the next chapter, control and coordination. Now, all of you know that living organisms are in direct contact with their environment. And so, if there is any change in the surroundings, it is likely to have a direct or indirect influence on its body. And therefore, to maintain this balance between the environmental factors and the body functions, there is always a need of a controlling and coordinating system that works for the welfare of the organism and that will help maintain a harmony between the internal environment of the body and the external changes. Alright, so this is control and coordination, the name of the chapter. Controlling includes restraining and regulating the activities so that some processes could be started, some could be slowed down or stopped. Alright, you may have noticed that the rate of breathing increases when we do some physical activity like running, dancing. So, can we control it? Something is there inside the body that has a direct control on the rate of breathing. How many times in a minute are we going to inhale and exhale? So all these activities have to be controlled according to the requirement of the body. Alright, while we are sleeping, we breathe at a normal rate. But this breathing rate will decrease or increase automatically. Alright, we consciously are never aware of it. But we breathe each and every moment. And so this breath is also controlled. So there is a system inside the body which will have a control on all these activities. And coordination is a term you may have heard about it in different competitions. There are marks given for coordination in dance, in singing and in other group activities. Right? Because in a group activity you have to work things according to a pattern. Alright? Likewise, in a human body, there are so many organs and each organ is specially designed for a particular function. So, they have to work together, alright, in such a way that they should produce an appropriate action, and the only aim is to maintain harmony inside the body and outside changes. Alright, so this is about control and coordination. You will study about different control and coordinating activities in both plants and animals. In plants, the coordination is simpler than the animals because they do not have a nervous system. Whereas in animals, the controlling and coordinating activities are quite complicated. So we'll start with the animals first. So in animals, the control and coordination is carried out by the nervous system with the help of the muscular tissue and the endocrine system. So these two systems are responsible for the control and coordinating activities in human beings. Alright. Now, in the nervous system in human beings has two main parts: central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So the central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord. Alright, so this is the brain and this is the spinal cord. They constitute the central nervous system. We will study about them in detail. The peripheral means edges. So the peripheral nervous system includes the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. Cranial nerves are 12 pairs arising from the brain. Cranial nerves arise from the brain, and human beings have 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Alright. Spinal nerves arise from the spinal cord. These are the spinal nerves. They arise from the spinal cord. Alright. So we will study about these two in detail. Now, before we start the chapter, let us know the basic unit of nervous system. And you have studied in class 9th that the basic unit of nervous system is the neuron. Alright. So, neuron or the nerve cell. You will also come across some new terms in this chapter. You may have studied about them in classes 6th and 7th, but still let us study them again. Stimulus. Any change in the surroundings is called a stimulus. So, sunlight is a stimulus, heat is a stimulus, touch is stimulus, sound is a stimulus, and so on. Alright, these are certain things which will cause a movement or cause an action in our body. So, if you have seen a cat running, why is the cat running? So, running in the cat is a movement. And why has this movement been caused? Most likely the cat has seen a mouse. And so, mouse for a cat is its food. So, the cat is moving. So, what is the stimulus here? The stimulus is the mouse, the sight of mouse. And what is the response? Response is the action taken for the stimulus. The response here is the running of the cat. Alright. Now, in our body, there are some receptors which will receive the stimulus. Receptors will receive the stimulus, and these are the specialized tips of the nerve fibers that collect the information to be conducted by the nerves. We have different sense organs in our body which act like receptors. We have phonoreceptor, that means the inner ear. Inner ear acts as a phonoreceptor and it helps us in hearing and in balance of the body. We have olfactory receptors. Olfactory receptors receive smell. Gustatory receptors are located in the tongue and they help us to taste things. Likewise, there are thermoreceptors in our skin which help us in detecting the touch, heat and pain stimulus. Alright. So, as I told you, a neuron is the basic unit of nervous tissue. This is the diagram of a neuron. Alright. So, you will see that there are different parts of a neuron. This part of the neuron is called the cell body. And this part of the neuron is called the axon. Alright. Now, let us study the different parts of the neuron. You have drawn this diagram in the previous class and you all know about. Now, the cell body is the rounded part. It has a nucleus. This is the nucleus. And there are other cell organelles also. You will see that the cell body has some projections, hair-like projections. The cytoplasm extends in the form of hair-like, thread-like structures. These are called dendrites. Okay. Now, the axon is the longest dendrite. Axon is the largest. It is the long process which carries information from one cell body to the next neuron. Alright. So, this is one neuron. There is a small gap here. And then from here, the next neuron will start. Alright. So, what will happen? The dendrites will receive the stimulus. The dendrites will receive the stimulus. And this stimulus, it receives in the form of a chemical reaction. Alright. After this chemical reaction is transmitted to the cell body, and here is created an electrical impulse. Alright. So, the message, the stimulus is received by the dendrites and is transmitted in the form of an electrical impulse through the axon. Alright. These are the end points of the axon. And here will begin the next neuron. The next neuron will, this is the cell body of the next neuron and the dendrites of the next neuron. So there is a connection between one neuron and the other, and this connection is known as synapse. Alright, so synapse is the point contact between the terminal branches of axon of one neuron with the dendrites of the next neuron.